News and Events COVID-19 on June 13. Note, this is a collaborative video made between Travel for All FanPage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most on June 13 as follows. 1. American News. Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, says second wave is not inevitable as coronavirus cases climb in some states. The new coronavirus spreads mainly via airborne transmission, and wearing a mask is the most effective way to stop person-to-person spread, according to a new study. In the U.S., some states and cities like Oregon and Nashville, Tennessee are delaying reopening plans because of elevated coronavirus cases. Apple launched a program to promote the ideas of racial equality and empower people of color in education and economics. According to Tim Cook, the company has allocated $100 million to this program. Tim Cook said, "Today, I'm proud to announce Apple's Racial Equity and Justice Initiative with a $100 million commitment." Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's team sent a petition to Facebook, demanding action against incumbent President Donald Trump, but only received the response that Facebook would protect the right to freedom of speech comment. 2. Update COVID-19 in the world. More than 7.6 million cases of the novel coronavirus have been confirmed worldwide, as well as at least 425,000 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. Nearly 140,000 new infections and more than 4,500,000 died in the past day. The pandemic has infected more than 7.7 million pathogens and has caused nearly 427,700 deaths worldwide since the first outbreak in Wuhan, China, at the end of 2019. The number of recovery cases reached nearly 4 million. The U.S. recorded more than 2.1 million positive cases and about 116,800 deaths, continuing to lead the list. Next are Brazil, Russia, India, and England. In recent days, health officials around the world have expressed concern that some countries facing severe economic impacts due to the blockade could lift restrictions too quickly, and COVID-19 can spread during anti-racial protests. 3. French News. The French government will lift coronavirus travel restrictions on its internal European borders on Monday. 4. China News. Military equipment was imposed in Fengtai district in southern Beijing after COVID-19 was discovered at the wholesale market there, Deputy Party Committee Secretary Chu Junhui of China said at a news conference on Saturday. 5. German News. The German Ministry of Economy published a report that stated that new U.S. sanctions on the Northern Flow 2 were controversial, and Elsplat wrote. The ministry noted that under the new points of the sanctions, even German government agencies with administrative activities related to gas pipelines could be affected. 6. Singapore News. The number of COVID-19 cases in Singapore surpassed the 40,000 mark after recording more than 300 new cases in the past 24 hours, of which 5 cases infected the community. Of the 5 cases of infection in the community, 2 Singaporeans and 3 foreigners worked there, the Straits Times newspaper cited figures from the country's Ministry of Health. 7. Vietnam News. According to the news at 6 p.m. on June 13 of the National Steering Committee for Prevention and Control of COVID-19 in Vietnam, male patients who have just returned from Vietnam from China through Mon Khe Border Gate in Quang Ninh have been identified as cases infected with COVID-19 TH334. Regarding the treatment of 91st patient, male British pilot, at Choe Hospital, information from the Treatment Subcommittee of the National Steering Committee on Prevention and Control of COVID-19 of Vietnam said the health of the disease this person continues to have more positive changes. Currently the British pilot is a patient with COVID-19 who has the longest number of treatment days in Vietnam with 87 days. 8. Indian News. India rose to a new record, with more than 11,300 cases positive for the new strain of coronavirus in the past 24 hours. India has passed the UK into the 4th position on the list of the most heavily attacked by COVID-19 in the world. To date, the country has nearly 310,000 patients and about 8,900 people have to die. These are record numbers and mark the first time the number of new cases in India has exceeded 10,000. The spread of COVID-19 caused the medical infrastructure in many large Indian cities to begin to overload. Some states have to use carriages as a treatment site to reduce pressure on hospitals. 9. News of Ukraine. First Lady of Ukraine infected with COVID-19. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced he was going to special working mode after his wife, Olena, tested positive for the new strain of coronavirus. The Ukrainian leader himself also conducted the test, but the results were negative. Zelensky's special working mode was activated because, in accordance with the Ukrainian constitution, the president of the country is not authorized to run the country for anyone. This working mode meets all standards of current law and sanitary and phytosanitary requirements, according to a statement of the Office of the President of Ukraine. The president added, the president will limit the scope of meetings, organize online meetings. Direct meetings involving personal communication with heads of state will be cancelled in days next. 10. Thai news. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has agreed to temporarily lift the night curfew and allow most services to function normally again, except for entertainment spots. The time for implementation starts on June 15 and temporarily for 15 days. After that, the new curfew was officially cancelled if the situation got better. Meanwhile, the emergency decree has been maintained by Thai authorities. A nighttime curfew in Thailand has been in place since April 3, according to which people in the country are not allowed to leave their homes from 10 p.m. the night before to 4 a.m. the next morning. For the past 17 days, Thailand has not recorded any cases in the community. 11. Iran news. The satellite image released by the Associated Press news agency on June 9 showed that the model based on the U.S. Navy-built Nimitz-class aircraft carrier was anchored at Iran's Bandar Abbas Bay, and on the deck there are more than a dozen fighter models moored. Although Tehran authorities have not confirmed the purpose of this model, the AP news agency said that this model could be used in real-time firing exercises of Iran Navy. 12. Indian news. India recorded a record high number of cases, nearly 11,500 cases in 24 hours, bringing the total number of cases to 30,603 cases. India is the fourth most heavily influenced by COVID-19 in the world. The number of infections continues to rise, despite a nationwide curfew that has lasted since March. The western state of Maharashtra has the most cases, with more than 100,000 cases. New Delhi, where the health system is suffering from headaches due to the disease, also recorded more than 2,000 new infections. Cases increased, but the rate of recovery of patients also increased. There are now more than 147,000 people cured, according to data from the Indian government. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Please subscribe Knowledge of Coronavirus channel at https://tindercom/s4gaps Knowledge of Coronavirus channel and travel for all fantage respectfully, and see you in the next video. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our